is a story that's becoming very familiar in our listening area. That's, of course, the story of the Farmerettes. They were the young women who served in the fields, the farm fields, while men were serving during the Second World War. We Lend a Hand is a documentary film that tells their story, and it plays at the Forest City Film Festival all this week. I'm delighted right now to welcome Gloria Jenner. She was a real-life farmerette. She's in our studio along with film director Colin Field. Welcome to you both.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Matt. Good to see you again.
Gloria, I want to start with you because it's so wonderful. We've done stories about the Farmerettes multiple times, and we've met a few of you. And having you in studio with us now is such a pleasure. What has it been like for you to see your story? Because you lived this, right? This was your story.
That's right. Yeah.
Highlighted on the screen this way in a movie like this. What's it been like?
Well, it's been very exciting to have that history all brought back, to let the people know in Ontario anyway what happened during the war.
Colin, you were mentioning that so many of these shows have sold out already across the province. Did you think the story would resonate with people the way that it has?
It's been a bit of a shock for me. I mean, I was hoping people would be interested in watching it, not just for the family and people who had read Bonnie and Shirley Ann's book, but since we last spoke on June the 6th, we've had 60 screenings. I counted it last night, and most of them have sold out. So it's crazy, and it's a real community event. People come out. Often we have farmerettes coming. They're treated like rock stars. They get a standing ovation.
So cool.
And many people come back a second or a third time. So it's really cool.
Why do you think it's resonated so much and continues to resonate so much even after the movie was first created, after the book was first released? Why do you think it endures so much?
I'm trying to understand that. Everyone has different ideas, but I think a lot of it is this history happened all around us, and no one's talked about it before. So that's why I called it the forgotten story of the Ontario Farmerettes. So people are really excited to learn about this, but to also see these beautiful women in their late 90s talking as if they were teenagers, 15. It's so present, and they have such humor and such grace. And people, I think, they think it's going to be a bit of a history lesson, and they don't realize they're going to be laughing through the whole show, and there's going to be tears. And everyone comes away with this real sense of pride. We're in this patriotic moment that just sort of started happening right when the film launched. And, we're talking about food and local food, all these things during the war that were really important, and they are again today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, Gloria, it's a chapter out of your life. We're looking back, but it's a chapter out of your life. How old were you at the time when this happened?
I was 16. You had to be 16 to go, and they were all ages for 16 and up, teenagers. There was a couple of older gals in their early 20s that volunteered to help run the camp. Yeah, and so it was just amazing. Yeah, I met so many gals from all around Ontario, became pen pals, and so it was just a wonderful time in my life. I wanted to go back the next year, but the school said no, that I needed to take something else for my summer job. Yeah.
First of all, do you still stay in touch? You mentioned pen pals. You kept in touch with?
No, I kept in touch. The one I kept in touch the longest with, she was quite a bit north of London, and we exchanged about our children and everything, but and all of a sudden I just didn't hear from her anymore, so I imagine she'd passed on,
Are there any special memories that stand out to you from that time working on the farms?
Yeah, it was wonderful being out in the sun and working all day and eating. I was on a fruit farm, so eating all the fruit was great.
You got it fresh.
Got it fresh. And but the wonderful thing about our camp, we had we set up for a dance every Saturday night. So it was like still being, at home and being a teenager and going to teenage dances, because the boys in the area came to dance with us.
I'll bet they did.
Yeah.
I'll bet they did. You were such young women at the time. You mentioned that you were 16.
Yeah.
And did you think at all about how you were breaking stereotypes at the time of the type of things that women could do? Was that even a thought in your mind about how trailblazing you were at that time?
No, I didn't. We didn't. I think we just enjoyed it. Being out and being out on a farm and meeting all these different people from all around Ontario, different gals. And I went on a hitchhike once with one gal. She wanted to go home and see her parents, so I hitchhiked with her to our camp was in Clarkson, so we hitchhiked to Woodstock, to where she lived. Spent the weekend there, but her parents drove us back. No more hitchhiking.
You hear stories like this, Colin, and again, we're reminded that these were people's lives. It's not just history, it's people's lives. How challenging was it for you to bring these memories and these stories to life in film the way that you did?
Well, it was easy because these women were so generous with me. I interviewed 20 women around Ontario, and, you just create a sense of trust like you do, and people feel comfortable, and you ask the right questions, and then you just sit back and let them tell their story. The challenging part, you're right, was to kind of make it cinematic, right? The story's been told in PowerPoints and in book form, and I really wanted it to be a film. And so doing reenactments, doing a lot of historical research, finding a whole trove of footage from the 1940s that the NFB had that had actually been mislabeled, and we had to work hard to find it. So that's all interwoven, and some of the women, Shirley Ann English, sadly, co-author of the book with Bonnie Sitter, has passed away since, but I took her back to the farm where she worked in Thetford, and I just thought we'd do a drive-by and jog some memories, and she got out of the car and walked into the field and got down and started demonstrating how they picked onions, and she was like 89 at the time. Right. So these women are just they have so much spunk and they have so much fun. And so it really was, that's what comes through in the film, is them in these older, faces, but inside their brain, they're 15, 16, 17 years old, and they're living it in the moment. So,
Gloria, what do you think of all this attention that the farmers are getting?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful that Colin thought about this and put this all together, and it's old history that people didn't even know about. Yeah, I think it's just wonderful. It's I got people stopping me where I live, and they've seen the film and everything, and now I got an email from my granddaughter in Toronto, who's a dress designer for films there, and she just heard about it and wants to know about it. Yeah,
that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
What lessons do you hope that people will take away from the film?
I think it really comes across through the women's stories, but the theme, and this is the tagline for the film, is that service comes in many forms. So these young women, at the time, they didn't even think that they could accomplish what was asked of them. And the program was so successful. It ran 7 years after the war. So they rose to the challenge individually and collectively. They provided food for the starving nations, for the soldiers, for the country. And so I think, and I've heard young people say this, right? It's that if you especially give young women a chance, they can do amazing things. But that's true for all of us, right? Whether it's contributing to your community, to your church, to your school, to the planet, right? Everybody can make a contribution, and that service comes in many forms. So that's really the theme.
Yeah. You guys can do amazing things, and you did do amazing things. Thank you so much for this, both of you. I really appreciate, Colin, you coming back. And Gloria, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Enjoy. I hope you enjoy seeing the film in front of people, and that it continues to have the success that it did. Yeah. Thank you so much for both of you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
That's Colin Field. He's the director of We Lend a Hand. Gloria Jenner is a former farmerette, turning 96 years old next month. The documentary is screening at the Forest City Film Festival on Saturday. Tickets are selling out fast for this show and others across the region. Tickets are still available in Clinton for November 16th, and you can also find out where else you can see the film at welendahand.ca.